And welcome to Beck's Bug Out Survivor. And today we're looking at the Buffalo sleep system, a two-part sleeping bag. And in the States you'll have the military modular sleep system. Here in Britain we have the Buffalo, and it's primarily used to be used by mountain rescue for hypothermic casualties. And I am going to let you into why I think this is going to make an ideal prepper's sleeping bag above any other. Of course, it's subjective to your opinion. I'll let you into one secret: it wasn't cheap, and there's no way I'd have been able to afford this if I didn't have a bit of luck. I've got a ground pad with me. It's an inner shell and an outer shell, and the outer shell is meant to be windproof up to 40 or 50 mile an hour, so it's quite a good breeze. I've seen trees come down in 50 mile an hour winds. I don't need a separate bivvy. Fingers crossed. And they're being transported in my 50-litre Cadet. I also have in the bottom here, not the Buffalo wearables, but I think they're snug packed, but they work just the same. And on the website it says you need to conjoin the wearables with the bag system to get down to the lower temperatures, and I've tried it and I can well believe it works. The outer, kind of sleeping bag size. Now the compression spider here on the top is separate to the actual stuff sack here, so an element you're going to lose if you're not careful. Let's dive in and see the inner, another sleeping bag size stuff sack. So this is the Buffalo system, and I've had it together for the last few days, so I've been in it, all kind of temperatures. Last night it was 3 degrees Celsius, that's cold enough for me. Now with the aid of the wearables, which is in the bottom of my Bergen, I was too hot, far too hot. I can tell you that, that's no word of a lie. Now I have these kind of softies, the newer softies, the jacket and the pants section, which I say to wear in the winter inside bags, so it's what I'm doing. Again, I haven't compressed them into the stuff sacks just because everything packs a lot better loose filled for me. So I'm going to connect these two parts together, and that's the last time you're going to see the stuff sacks for me. Mine gets loose filled straight into the Bergen, just like the underneath wearables, which I prefer above long johns or thermals. Much prefer. It's like a sleeping bag system of its own. Now I'm just going to get out a roll pad because I don't want to get these dirty. I've got the Highlander and the inflatable, but I'm only going to use this Highlander, just like I said, I don't want anything getting too dirty. Let's start with the inner bag. Now, this is very, very different to a lot of other sleeping bags, if you haven't seen the Buffalo system. This is said to be the 2 or 3 season inner. It's incredibly tight in the bag at the moment. I don't like stuff sacks. And once these are connected, you're not going to get these back into the little stuff sacks it comes with. I can tell you that right now. That's why I bought the army issue compression sack here, just in case, for those of you, and I know you do love your stuff sacks, want to use it. So this is the Buffalo with the branded label on the left here, so that's showing it's genuine there. hood with thick pile fleece as the insulation. But look here, I'm going to open it up and it's all thick pile fleece. If you haven't seen the Buffalo system before, let's see if I can get a close-up of this. It is very, very thick. Said to be good for 2 or 3 seasons of the UK weather system. And the outer is a very thick cotton, I think. Almost like a canvas. On the shoulders and the feet are these loop attachments here, which we'll see later when we connect it to the outer. And it's kind of similar to a Sherpa fleece. Very, very nice. Has the spider compression, which is separate component to the actual stuff bag itself. Why they've separated that, I don't know. Most I've seen have the spider sewn onto the actual stuff sack itself. Take the stuff sack off, put that to one side. This is the outer bag. Again, has the Buffalo brand, a hooded sleeping bag, and the hood is fantastic. If you've never seen the Buffalo, you've not seen a hood like this. Again, it's identical to the inner bag. It has the thick pile lining, which is going to be paramount to why I think this is going to be an ideal prepper's bag system over any other synthetic or down. Okay, I'm going to unzip it and put the inner into this outer bag. Now I'm going to place the inner hood into the outer hood and zip all the elements together. Give it a shake down. The outer, like I said, is the Pertex. So this is similar to your bivvy. It should be wind resistant up to 50 miles an hour. Splash proof, not waterproof. So with me, I'm going to have a basher up above and use this as my whole system. Now some say it's a little bulky and a little heavy. Well, I can get this compact. As far as being heavy, it's not as heavy as the American 𝑚WS sleep system. I know I've got one, and later down in the series we can actually compare the two together. There you go. And the inner zip here. And this is the great thing about the hood. It has a face shield which stands off your face, so I can totally enclose my face. Double zip to make a snorkel breather hole here, or completely zip up my face. Really ideal. And the great thing is there's no draw toddles to worry about on the hood or the shoulder baffle, because there are none. I'm going to pop in this and we'll have a look at the face hood being deployed. It's a tight fit. It's measured 3 sizes: small, medium, large. Check the website out if you're going to buy one, and make sure you know your measurements in centimetres in height. I'm 173, this is a 175 bag, so it's going to be a tight fit, and the tighter you can get these Buffaloes, the better they work. Now I have brought with me boot covers, which are my sandbags, just in case I want to sleep with my boots on. I think that would be uncomfortable. So, position myself in. I'm going to start with the inner and just get a bit of this up. The outer, again, just get it up to sitting level. Zip up the outer, zip up the inner. 2 layers of that thick pile. Both can be opened on the bomb burst like that. This is going to be great bivvy camping system, this. And I can zip up the whole face and open up to make the snorkel there. Then it's just a case of doing up the outer and the inner. And even the hood is on the bomb burst. Now as for the weight and it being heavy, you got 2 bags, so let's give you the weights individually. The inner, said to be 2 season, 1100 grams or thereabouts. Again, I'll put the exact weight in the caption. And the outer is around 1600 grams. So I'll put that in the caption, the exact weight of that. As where my 𝑚WS sleep system was more like 5 kilos. Now then, let's come back to this here, which is the pile lining. 2 lots of outer, inner, both pile liners. This is what makes it a prepper's bag for me, above any other, is you can't compress the loft. There is no loft to compress. And what normally happens is if you store a sleeping bag in a pack, like a go bag ready so you can grab it and take it out, long storage of the insulation will ruin the insulation. And that goes for synthetic insulation and especially down insulation. You don't keep them stored in bags. You need to hang them up on coat hangers and stow them that way. This you can compress and compact and leave it in the actual pack itself for a prolonged period of time without ruining any of the loft or insulation. So now it does become a real prepper's bag system. I can keep all that in a pack dedicated for prepping and bugging out and not having to worry that the insulation has been compressed and ruined over time. It might be in this pack for 12 months or so as a bug out system, and it would ruin the loft. Now when it comes to this section here, Buffalo say to wear your sleep suit to make it British 4 seasons. So 2 bags, an easy 3 seasons. Like I said, I had just the 2 bags down to 3 degrees the other night, and it was warm enough. I could have got through the night. Now adding a layer of this, which I wished I'd have had the other night. Now this isn't a buffalo top, it just has a felt inner. So there's a top section and a pants section, which I'm not going to put on for demonstration, but you get the gist. And I can zip this up. Don't need a hat because I've got double hoods. And this, when I put it on, boy, too hot, too hot. I could not get into the bag and stay in it for more than half an hour. And with this on, I had to undo zips both on this and the 2 bags and vent right down. Now this bag system will wick your moisture. If you're sweating this, it comes to the outer and evaporates, even if that air is cold and below freezing. So that moisture and sweat is not going to turn to ice, it will evaporate. That's the theory. Like I said, I've yet to test it. Rolling this system up and putting it in the bag is next, but it's not how I do it, but it's how I'm going to show you. We should be able to feed it directly into a burger, and this is only 50 litres by the way. And it's in, and it's filled the entire 50 litres. But watch this. I'm going feet first, shovel it in. Now if I find a gap where I can feel here, I can shove some bag into it all the way around. That'll do for now. So the system rolled came right up to the top of the 50 litres, stuffed in and poking the sleeping bag into every little spare gap available. Really has condensed this like you won't believe. So there is the full length of the 50, how we saw it before. Now watch. There. A big difference there, look. Flat, leftover space. About 9 inches worth of leftover space. Not a requirement for me to put the British bivvy into it either, because the outer is meant to be windproof. I'm going to whisper the prices to you in case your missus is listening. When I priced up the outer, it was £171, but I didn't need the large like was for sale. I needed the medium to fit 173 centimetres, and that came in at 202. The inner 99 quid in the medium, making a total of £301. Now, there's no way that would be affordable for me, just for a sleeping bag. I could probably sell some things, bits and bobs, and I was just going to get a 50 quid sleeping bag and hope for the best with it. But with some leftover money, I put it on a horse. For a couple of weeks I ran an outside system on a horse racing event or events. Week 1 or day 1 I managed to turn a tenner into 200 quid. Very, very lucky. I could have lost that tenner, only a tenner though. So immediately I withdrew that money and bought the outer. Week 2 I tried the same trick. It took a week to get the profit together from another tenner to 99 quid, and I got the inner. So if I was to save up for that, would I? Tenner a week, say, for 30 weeks, about half a year, just over, isn't it? Would I save up for it? Yeah, would, really would. Like I said, synthetic insulation such as hollow fill fibre and natural insulation such as down is going to compress. This won't. It won't. It can stay in your pack as is, and when the time arises you're going to need your kit, you can grab it, be reassured that it's going to be in just as good condition as when you put it on your back. It's been used by British Mountain Rescue for hypothermic casualties. It will keep you insulated and warm even if the bag itself has seen water and is soaking wet. The actual pile itself will retain most of its insulating value, so you can still zip up if the bag is wet, which is why the mountain rescue people love it so much. You can put your casualty straight in. If you've got wet clothing, take your wet clothing off. You can get into a wet bag, you'll still be warm. I've not tried it, but I can well imagine that to be so. I've also read somewhere about a guy working in Antarctica. He took a down sleeping bag and used the for inner, and he said he was toasty at minus 60 degrees Celsius. But what I will do is use this system for bivvy camping. It's a lot lighter than the 𝑚WS sleep system. I think it carries a lot better. As you can see, it all goes into 50 litre cadet with 9 inches of space left over. Where I've put my roll pad, it's not on top in elastics like I carried it in the camp. It's actually gone under the lid itself and on top of the snow hood. If you're looking for Prepper's sleeping bag, would I save up a tenner a week for half a year? Damn right I would. Very, very pricey, the Buffaloes, but once I teamed that up with the Snugpack wearables, boy, easily, stupidly low temperatures can be achieved. Now I've got a bivvy suit as well that I usually wear. Again, I can't collapse the insulation on that, and that's in the Bergen, ready to go. So hopefully you're going to see me out with the webbing, the pack with the Buffalo in, and it'll just give me a chance to test it out properly. On their own, the 2 bags, British weather, 3 seasons, probably down to 5 degrees, you'll get a benefit from it. Summer, just use the inner bag, and you can always use the wearables rather than take out the outer bag, but combining the whole lot together, that is a Prepper's sleep system. And that's why I'm keeping this in the big Bergen, just ready to grab and go. It's simple really, isn't it? I've been Bex, this has been channel Bex Bug Out Survivor. This has been the Buffalo system from the UK.